All right. Hello. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the 51st AMA live stream. So for anyone that missed a stream, thanks for watching the replay of this, and hopefully I can catch you in the next live one. So the purpose of these live streams is to give you guys a chance to ask me anything you want, which is the whole point of the AMA acronym, Ask Me Anything. And then also, I like to try to set a subject or title beforehand, so at least we have a general idea of what the stream is going to be about or what direction I want to go in. So today I wanted to just briefly talk about gambling addiction or any other addiction that people have, because I think it's an important question to, not really question, but important topic to talk about, because I've been getting a lot of comments from people who are struggling with some form of addiction in their life. And not just gambling. There's also alcohol, social media, video games. Like there's tons of vices and addictions that people struggle with in everyday life. So I think this would be a good stream to have to hopefully get some people in here that can maybe share some stories of how they struggled with gambling in the past, or how they overcame some type of addiction in their life. So if you're new to the stream, my name is Derek. I create self-improvement content pretty much on a daily and weekly basis. I'm sort of all over the place. I do regular videos, shorts, live streams, podcasts. Like I have tons of stuff. I'm just always trying to release more and more content. And what I really like about this whole live streaming segment of my channel is that it really helps improve my speech, I guess you would say, and I'm not reliant on some type of pre-written script. And so being present in the moment and having to broadcast yourself live, it really puts you on the spot. And there's a certain level of anxiety that comes with that, especially social anxiety. You know, having to speak in the moment in front of the entire internet, it can be sort of daunting. However, I embrace difficult challenges in my life because they've always improved me as a person. And in the past, I was always scared to do anything difficult. You know, I was always trying to live a life of comfort, and I always made the decision that had the least amount of resistance. And so what really benefited my life was just accepting the fact that I am going to do difficult tasks. I embrace a challenge and I want to grow as a person. And what's great about this is that it's allowed me to sort of share my struggles and trials and tribulations that I've gone through and what I've learned along the way. And so this is the type of stuff that I like to talk about and share on this channel. So the live streaming is interesting because what's the best way to put it? I'm super bullish on streaming. I think that live streaming is only going to get more popular, especially on YouTube. And even other platforms like Facebook and Twitch. I know they do a lot of live streaming. And so I always had this, and I say this all the time pretty much during the streams, but whenever you follow like a YouTuber or content creator, part of me always wished that they streamed so that I could ask them questions in a live setting. And so I was like, man, I wish all these content creators did this. And so I figured, why not do it myself? So that was the whole reason why I started the live stream in the first place. It was to challenge myself and also to give you guys an opportunity to ask me any questions. Because there's a lot of self-improvement YouTubers. I wish they did a live stream so that I could just ask them questions in real time. And I'm sort of getting a little sick and tired of the same old videos that are optimized for retention and click-through rate and fast editing and all that type of stuff. So Oh, Red, what's up, Red? How you doing, bro? Oh yeah, the fresh mod. You got the power to kick out the trolls. Yo, I've been getting a crazy amount of bots in the comment sections of my videos. Like I can't keep up with it. Like there's like these bots now on YouTube. They're so sophisticated. They have these conversations with each other in the comment section of my YouTube videos. And it's wild. It'll be like, say I make a video about mushrooms and then one person will leave a comment like, oh, psilocybin has really helped me reduce my anxiety and depression, but it's so hard to outsource here. And then like 14 bots will reply to that one comment. They'll be like, oh, yo, psychedelics has helped me too. This is what I did. This is what I tried. Oh, if you can't find someone to get them from, or you can't find a grower, this guy on Instagram is awesome. And they promote their like business. And it's very strange because it'll be like this super long comment thread. And at first I thought these were just people, because I'm like, okay, all these people are having a conversation. But then when I get down to the 14th or 15th comment, it's always the same. It's like, oh, my hookup is here. You can check them out on Instagram. This is his Instagram handle. And I was like, oh my gosh, these bots, man. These bots are having literal conversations in the comment section of my YouTube videos. Hello, Derek. How are you? Oh, Batiste. What's up, Batiste? Hey, Forrest. How you guys doing? How's the French rioting going, Batiste? I've been following that in the news. I'm like, as we remember, I DM'd you about it, and this whole thing about increasing age of retirement. I believe that is the main concern that the people of France are concerned about. And so I believe that was the original intent of the riots, right? That stuff is crazy. Oh yeah. How you doing, Forrest? Happy Saturday. Peace to everybody in the chat. Yeah, it's this week has been pretty wild, man. There was that shooting in, I want to say it was Nashville in the United States, where there was 3 9-year-old kids that died and like 3 teachers. Like, oh man, like that's going on. And then like the protests in France was also going on. And then I think Donald Trump was getting arrested. And then I also saw some protests in Tel Aviv, Israel, I believe. Like, man, just so much going on all at once in the world this week. And when I see the word peace, I think that's something the world needs more of. I don't know how we'll get there, but it's interesting too, because I don't really pay too much attention to the news, especially over here. The news is sort of biased, and they're not really trying to show you truth. They're trying to show you stories that get clicks. Like that old saying, if it bleeds, it leads, right? And so that's how these news networks make money, through advertisements. And I get it. But for whatever reason, this week, I was sort of paying a lot of attention to the news. Nashville. Yeah, Nashville. It's sad, man. Like, why does it always have to be innocent children that get shot? Like, why is that the trend? That's so disheartening for me as a parent. Like, when I saw that, I got really sad. Because just thinking about, like, imagine you have a child and you raise them and you're nurturing them for 9 years of their life, and they just get taken away from you by some crazy person that goes to decide to shoot up their old school. Like, why is that always the trend? I don't know. It's it just makes me really sad. It makes me real sad whenever I hear anything that has to do with harm against children. It's it really sucks. Gotta stay alert at all times. I still keep a positive attitude, but I'm not trusting everybody I meet. Yeah, it's tough, because you want to be positive, right? But you also don't want to be naive. and gullible, because there are a lot of shitty human beings out there in the world. Like, and I give most people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm generally a pretty positive and optimistic person. However, the real world is cruel at the end of the day. But there's tons of people who are selfish. They'll steal from you, they'll backstab you, they'll do anything to get one up on you. Like, it's a dog eat dog world at times, right? However, I try not to let that affect my positive outlook on life, because then if I did let it affect me negatively, then it's going to derail this whole self-improvement journey that I'm on. So it's like this interesting balance you have to play, right? It's like a give and take. Oh, Mr. Drama is here. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, bro? How are you? Did you invest in Rumble? Or maybe that's not a good topic to talk about on YouTube. It's funny. Monsters does exist. It is so crazy to think that people who are capable of doing this exists. Yeah, it's unfortunate, right? The way I think about it is, like, imagine if you had 100 random people, right? From whatever country, whatever walks of life. There's probably a 100% chance that 1 to 2% of that populace is crazy in some way, or is lacking some type of mental capacity in their life. Or maybe not out of 100, like say 1,000, right? Like say you have 1,000 people. Like, there's always going to be people that are struggling or messed up or have something going on in their life. Either, they grew up in a bad household. Maybe they grew up in an abusive household. Maybe they grew up in a city where no one cared about them. Maybe they grew up somewhere where they lacked resources, or they lacked laws. Like, there's so many different possibilities in the world that if you take like 100 people, or if you take 1,000 people, there's always going to be like that 1 or 2% that are damaged in some way. And it doesn't matter what you do, right? Like, you're going to have a barber, a mailman, a CEO, a construction worker, an accountant. Like, there's always going to be someone, right? But I think generally, like, or at least this is what I believe, is that 99% of people, are good, decent human beings, right? And it's that bottom 1% of 1%. Those are the people that are crazy enough to go shoot up a school and kill little children, right? And it's disgusting. Like, in my opinion, harm against kids has to be one of the worst things in the entire world. Like, if it comes to any type of like physical abuse, sexual abuse, kidnapping, like any of those type of crimes related to children, I think is like the worst thing in the entire world. Like, that is just horrible. That's just terrible, because kids are the future of our world, right? And you're going to take away those innocent years of their lives. They're never going to be able to grow up and have relationships, maybe meet a partner, see their parents get old, have kids of their own. Like, you kill a 9-year-old, it's awful. I don't think there's anything worse than that in the world. It's just disgusting, in my opinion. I feel like a loser. For the past 2 months, I've been making commentary videos instead of self-improvement videos, which was what I wanted to do. But then I have this soy brain that wants to get viral. It's kind of like instant gratification on YouTube, and the thing is, it worked. I got views and subscribers. Instead of providing value, I just do easy videos that can go viral. I think I might slow down on the commentary videos. I'm going to make a video of me taking accountability and criticizing myself. It's a very profound statement from someone that's pretty young. So, reaction videos are kind of tough because, like you said, it's an easy form or it's an easy way to make content. And you have to play like this game, right? It's like, why are you creating YouTube videos, right? Do you want to do it for the views to grow a business, right? Is that, if that's the intent, then doing reaction videos is actually a smart thing to do because it's quick, it's easy, you can pump out content. And if you react in an extremely emotional way, an aggressive way, it creates drama, right? And people love that and people will eat it up. So at the end of the day, you have to try to figure out like, what's the goal? What's the intent? What is a YouTube channel for? Like for me, I struggle with this every single day, right? I ask myself when I wake up, am I going to create videos today about something that I love, a topic that is meaningful to me? Or am I going to create a video based on a topic solely for the fact that it will get views? And I don't think there's any right or wrong answer, right? Like if you want to make a YouTube channel just for the views and grow a business, like, go for it. More power to you. I don't think anyone should tell you what you should, do with your life, right? But from my point of view, the intent has always been self-improvement from day one. And I think if I just keep struggling and keep creating this type of content that's meaningful to me, that's transparent and honest, that the views will come. The subscribers will come. They'll come in time, right? Like they'll come when I deserve it. And it's been 4 years now to get to this point. And, I've got 3,000 something subscribers. I'm happy about that. That's an accomplishment in and of itself. Would I like to be more successful? Of course, right? Of course. It all depends what is the end goal? What is the purpose? What's the reason why you're creating the channel, right? So I don't necessarily think anything you do is right or wrong because reaction videos are a great way to get eyeballs. I actually have, this is interesting that this subject came up, but I actually have a reaction video planned. And I was thinking of just doing one because there's this guy on a podcast who went to gambling rehab and he just came back. And so I was like, oh, okay, I really would like to make a reaction video on his statements that he made when he came back. And it's from Tom Segura's podcast, Your Mom's House. And so it's funny that we talk about reaction videos because I was thinking about making one today, but we'll see. We'll see. Nimirex? I don't know how to say your name, bro. Hi there. I watched your videos intermittently, so you may have discussed this already. I always feel like I miss out on not investing in stocks and stuff. Oh, always think about money. Yeah, the investing thing is tough because I feel the same way. A lot of money that I have, I invest in real estate pretty much. So I invest in the house that I live in. I don't have any extra money in stocks or mutual funds or index funds as I used to. I sort of put everything into real estate. And the big reason for that is because when you have kids, one of the most important things as a parent is to have a home, or you want to have a childhood home that your kids will have memories in as they grew up. And this was super important for me and my wife. This is obviously not the best financial decision you can make. Obviously, renting a place and using your money for investments and diversifying your savings is a lot more smarter of a decision. But again, it's what worked for us. So I get that too. I always feel like, oh man, if I had some extra money, I would have invested in Solana, that Bitcoin, and it blew up. And I knew about it when it was at $10, and it blew up to 75. And the same with any other stocks, right? But it's what it is. It's just what it is. You can only make the best decisions in the moment. Don't get caught up in what you missed out on, right? If you use your mind and your time to think about all the things you regret, all the things you missed out on, then you're taking time away in the moment where you could try to find what's that next thing, right? Instead of concentrating on what you missed out on, try to find what is coming up in the future, right? And just and just go from there. I try not to get caught up in all that stuff because every single person has a Bitcoin story. Everyone has a crypto story about how they sold too soon, or they purchased too late, or they sold too high, or bought too. Like, there's always stories, right? Everyone you talk to will have some type of investment story or regret that they missed out on that could have made them rich, right? But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that stuff that's in the past. Just try to make the best decision moving forward. I already scheduled videos till like April 9th. So after that, I'm going to slow down on those. I learned from Hamza that in order to succeed on YouTube, you have to be polarizing, to be on the extreme. Either people hate you or love you. I use that in doing reaction videos. Yeah, the polarization is what, again, it gets views, right? It gets clicks. So it's what it is. Lonely Caribbean. What's up, Brian? How you doing, bro? Oh, and Ken Smith is here too. What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping by. Good to see some familiar faces. How you doing, Brian? How's the music going? Oh, I missed a comment here. Don't have a purpose in life and everything seems boring to me. I have a career in IT, but I feel like it's sucking my soul, and I tend to think about money as an escape. Any suggestions on this mindset? Okay, so I had a poll recently on my community tab about purpose, finding your purpose in life, and it took me like 30 something years to find it. Trust me, it's incredibly difficult, and this is like a long-winded subject that needs a long-form video to talk about. So I am planning on releasing a video about purpose in life and sort of talking about my perspective and what I've found out. So yeah, wait for that video. It'll be more in depth. But for any brief suggestions, it's don't waste any time feeling down on yourself. Like, in the moment, again, you only have so much time and energy each day. The more you waste on things that you regret, things that you didn't do, things that you don't have, it takes away from those opportunities of you growing or finding what your purpose is. And like, don't get caught up in all that stuff. It will take time, trust me. And what I did, I tried all kinds of things. I tried businesses. I tried different types of YouTube channels, different niches. Everything failed. I tried different types of sports and athletics and going to the gym and videography and photography. I tried so many different things. And when I knew that I found my path is that I started waking up in the morning without an alarm clock. And I was so excited to start my day because I found what my purpose was in life. And for me, that's when you really know. And in order to get there, you have to keep searching. And the more time you waste on the regrets and the what ifs, then it reduces the amount of time that you can go out there and do something and try to find it, right? So I actually want to provide people with good values that I've learned, not some stupid videos I watched when I started self-improvement. Long time no see. Yeah, you too, bro. Try to treat money as a necessity instead of an escape. You'll start to develop a healthier relationship with it. Yeah, money is an interesting one, right? Because a lot of people say there's more to life than making money, and like, there's so much nuance there. Like, obviously money shouldn't be the end all be all goal, right? The way that I view personal finance is that the whole point of money is to free up your time. In my opinion, that's the whole point of it. Right? The whole point of finances and all this stuff business-wise that I do is that one day I would like to just be able to, pay my bills, walk into the grocery store, buy whatever I need without having to worry about the price of trivial things, and just have like freedom in my life. I think the worst thing about money is when you do it for materialistic reasons, right? Like, I want money so that I can have some like crazy car or whatever. Like, okay, if you're passionate about cars, sure. But for me, it's like money is the best thing that you can exchange for more time, freedom, right? And you sort of gain this perspective as you get older too, right? Materialistic things sort of tend to fall off on your mountain of important things in your life. So, what's going on? Ken Smith, my brother from Nova Scotia. Hey, brother, hope you're having a good weekend. Yeah, man, pretty good, pretty good. Super excited about the weekend. Got a lot of stuff planned. We did a in-person podcast right here in the studio. It was the first one I ever did with like multiple cameras, and I had like the proper podcasting gear. The problem is it's taking me forever to edit. It's taking so long because I have to go through all the video footage. So yeah, look out for that. I don't know when it'll come out. Hopefully next week. Investing in stocks is only for when you're super rich. You should invest in yourself or your business. Yeah, that's also a good thing. Investing in yourself, investing in skills, right? Investing in your physical body, investing in your mental health, learning things, reading things, speaking better, becoming a well-rounded person, or maybe you want to achieve mastery in one certain thing, right? Investing in yourself is super important. Slow rainy day here. Is it? I think the weather sucks here too. I can't see. I blocked up my window right here. I still have to paint the rest of this room. And I still have to get curtains for the window. I got halfway. See, this is the paint that I'm going to use right here, this gray. It just needs to go around the rest of the basement. The basement of this place is huge. It's like a massive space. I have to get to it eventually. Music is on the back burner at the moment. I'm focused on work, school, and business. But I'm really good. I hope you've been doing great too, bro. Oh yeah, you had the... what was it? You did real estate, right? Real estate is interesting. The interest rates have been going wild. I'm sure that has put a roaring halt on the real estate boom in North America. Or at least that's what it's been like here in Canada. I hope everyone here is having a good day. Yo, Ken Smith, I love the positivity. Love the positivity, man. I was supposed to go on our boy, Mr. Anti-Gambler, Tristan's podcast, not podcast, live stream. Hopefully we can find a date where I can come on that next week. We'll see. I don't know. It'll be super cool. I love doing these live streams. They're a lot of fun. And also they've improved the way that I deal with pressure and public speaking. Like my ability to just speak freely on a topic without fear of saying something stupid or being scared of looking dumb in front of the camera. Like that all sort of has gone away. In the beginning, I was very self-conscious of myself. I was very timid. I was kind of like worried, oh no, what am I going to say on camera? And people are going to laugh at me, or I'm going to say something stupid. And now that we're 51 streams in, super cool, right? 51. That's awesome. It's become super comfortable. It's like any other skill. Like if you're making YouTube videos or TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever you want to do, it's like any other skill. You just get better at it over time. And I love that. It also helps with the podcast too. That's another thing that man, I have so many goals. Like there's so many things I want to get better at. It's almost as if I'm a little bit too ambitious, if that makes any sense. Like I'm all over the place. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm just like going nuts. But I just can't help it. Like I can't help I just love to work. And this sort of ties back into purpose, right? Like when you find your purpose, when you find your passion, when you find the type of work that gives you fulfillment, all I do is work. Everything is work. I wake up, I work. The weekend, it's work, right? I'm going to do this live stream. It's work. After the stream, maybe I'm going to edit the podcast. That's work. Film another video tonight. That's work, right? Write a newsletter for April because April 1st right now. That's work. However, the description of work in this context is so different than the description of work at the day job where I'm driving around lifting heavy boxes. The word work it's not the same between these two different jobs. And so that's a huge distinction that you need to make. Like, some people tell me, man, you work too much. All you do is work. Like, don't you need like work-life balance? Don't you need to chill? Maybe play some Call of Duty on the weekend instead? And I'm like, well, yeah, to some people this seems like work, but for me, it's what I love to do. So it is work that is extremely enjoyable and challenging at the same time. So it's it makes me super happy. At the end of the day, it just makes me happy. You know, like, this is like, if you gave me a choice today, Saturday afternoon, let's go play League of Legends, let's go watch a movie, let's get some chips and watch Netflix, or you can do a live stream with the subs, with you guys, with Red, with Kevin, with Ken, with Brian. What do you think I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick the stream. I honestly would pick the stream. That's what I would pick over those other forms of entertainment, because that's how much I love my work. And I'm not saying it just for saying it. This is not an exaggeration. It's like the stone cold truth. Like, when I woke up this morning, I was all excited. Okay, I got to make like a thumbnail for this stream. What's going to be the subject? We're going to talk about, let's do gambling. Okay, what's a thumbnail for the AMA live stream? And I'm thinking, like, should I get like some poker chips? Should I get some money? And then I go, oh, I got a deck of cards, right? Bam, deck of cards. And then there you go. Like, it's all fun. Like, it's awesome. I love it. I just love it. It's the best. It's like, I wouldn't do anything else. I wouldn't do anything else. Lonely Caribbean, I see your videos from time to time. Keep it up, bro. I was wondering when you and Tristan were going to live stream again. Maybe you, Tristan, and Chris, aka Blackout Gambler, was checking out Only Phil last night, and he's thinking on new ideas for his channel. Taking possibly guess he's a good one. Yeah, the gambling community on YouTube, it's interesting because you guys are super supportive of one another. Like, it's like this really nice, tight-knit group, but it's very small. I didn't realize that. Like, when you go into, let's say, sobriety and alcohol addiction or Alcoholics Anonymous, that community is like massive. Like, oh my gosh, there's like so many people in that space. And then when I sort of randomly stumbled upon this gambling addiction community, it's so much smaller, but I feel like it might not be as prevalent, but it's just as dangerous, in my opinion. But I love how there's like so much support. Like, whenever I make a video talking about gambling stories, like crazy gambling addiction stories from my past, I always get like comments from people that are like, hey man, really enjoyed your video. I'm struggling right now. I blew all this money. What should I do? Or, hey man, I saw this video about how you overcame your past demons and it's really helped me with my life, and I've made some huge leaps and bounds in controlling the way that I blow my money. You know, thanks for this video. And it's awesome. You know, I love hearing that type of stuff. Some people will never get it. Rather work than doom scroll and criticize others who are putting in more work than me. Doom scroll. I like that word. Doom scroll. I don't think I've ever read that before. Doom scrolling. Wow, that's cool. I really like that. You know what I love? I love just like learning new words to expand my vocabulary. I think that's probably one of the most nerdy things that I do, especially when I'm listening to podcasts, like really high-end intellectual podcasts. Let's say something like Jordan Peterson, for example. He's a great example. Like this eloquent speaker, just beautiful use of language and vocabulary and sentence structure and the way he communicates. Like, I just can't help but learn. when I listen to a guy like that. Now, regardless of whether you agree with him or disagree with him, whatever, you still can't deny the fact that the guy is brilliant, right? And something about that is, I think that is what I sort of aspire to be. And I know this is like a weird thing to say, but I don't care. I'm not afraid of admitting things that I feel. But it's like, I want people to think of me as someone who's intelligent and reliable. And you know, when you hear someone that like speaks really well, they say something really smart, you're like, oh man, like that's so cool. Like all these people adore him. I wish I could sound that smart, or I wish I could be that intelligent. That's like this weird feeling that I have sometimes. Maybe it's like a fault where I want people to think that I'm smart. I want people to think that I'm intelligent, or I want people to believe that I'm well-spoken. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely like a desire that I have, because whenever I have a conversation with someone and they'd be like, oh man, like you really motivated me today, or I love what you said about this, it does make me feel good. Right? So it's interesting, because that's not the reason why I do all this stuff, but it is a feeling that I do have. It's very strange. It's like I desire to sound smart to other people. Does that make any sense? That's like such a weird thing to say. Like, who says that? They desire to sound smart. Maybe that's like my insecurities of being someone who is uneducated, that doesn't have a college diploma or university degree. Maybe that is something that I am extremely insecure about. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it's an interesting feeling that I do have. I don't think I've heard really many people have that same type of thought. Thank you, Red. I'm making more videos now. Yes, Lonely Caribbean. Let's go, bro. Gotta come back on the podcast again, dude. Work-life balance is a scam. You know what's interesting about the work-life balance thing? A lot of people that I hear like saying that mantra is like, it's sort of like an excuse to be lazy. And of course, that's not for everybody, right? But I hear so many people that are like, oh, I spent 35 hours at work this week and I was only able to binge 10 episodes of this show. I need more time to do things that I love. Like, you binged 10 episodes of a show this week? That's like 10 hours? Like, that's a lot. You spent 10 hours on Netflix this week binging an entire season of a show, but you still want more work-life balance? Because 10 hours on Netflix is less than 35 hours of the day job? I don't know, like, I guess. But for me, I'm like, man, work-life balance in that sense, like, it doesn't make any sense. For me, it just seems like an excuse for laziness. Now, if you're someone that is putting in like 80 hours a week at the construction site, and you don't see your family, and you don't see your kids, and you're missing out, then obviously that person is one who really needs work-life balance. It's not the person who wants more time to binge watch Disney Plus or watch more Marvel movies. I don't know, whatever it is. Long story short, I gave up on real estate and I'm focusing on YouTube. Oh, let's go, bro. Let's go. More YouTubers. You've come a long way, brother. You got it down to a science. Much respect for life. You too, Ken. I always love reading your comments. You're quickly becoming the best commenter. The only thing is, I don't have my comments turned on though. So if you guys leave a comment and I don't reply, it's because I probably didn't see it. There's just so many like crazy spam comments that I get. I had to like disable the notification for comments. I don't actually see it, but I do try to go into the comment section every once in a while. Got part-time somewhere to help pay bills and back to college for computer science. Oh, that's what I went to university for, computer science. Programming was something that I loved, but I wasn't very good at, if I'm being honest. Doom scrolling on PCP all 2023. Yo, Rad, you know what's funny about PCP? Me and my friends from like way back in the day, we used to do this thing called PCP. We'd call it Pop and Chip Party. And it's like this stupid thing that me and like the boys we used to do. We used to like go over to someone's house. We play like NBA 2K. We play PlayStation 2, PS2, or Dreamcast. And then we'd order like pop and chips and pizza. And like that was like our thing, PCP. So it's funny when you say PCP because it means a completely different thing. Sounds like a good desire to me. We all aspire to be more. How do I say your name? Diogo? Or is that Diego Cruz? What's up, dude? Hello, I have a question. I got lucky in crypto and stock market and made over 10 million, but I still have gambling addiction, losing money in stocks and random things. How do I solve that? I see I do not have an edge if I consider potential paths in PNL. What's PNL? Over the next 5 to 10 years in this market, but I don't know how to control myself from gambling in the market. I try to even send money away from my brokerage to my normal bank accounts, but my gambling addiction is so strong that I move the money after a few weeks back to brokerage and continue to gamble on random stocks and lose money. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack in that comment. Okay, so let's see. You got lucky in crypto and the stock market and made 10 million. Wow, that's awesome, bro. Good. There's a lot of yikes. There's a lot of good and bad there. Now, most people see that and like, oh man, you made 10 million. That's amazing. That's awesome. However, if you've never had a ton of money before, or if you always struggled with some type of gambling addiction, like winning or making a ton of money like that might be one of the worst things for you in life. And I remember there's this interesting quote I heard from, believe it or not, Mr. Andrew Tate. And I know that he gets a lot of heat, but he said once that money amplifies. All it does is amplify the person who you were. So if you're the man and you make $10 million, now you are like the real man. If you're a nerd, then you become a super nerd. If you're an addict, you become a super addict. And he said that money just amplifies. And so becoming super, super wealthy while you have some type of problem like a gambling addiction is terrible because you don't know how to control that. Now, there's so much going on in that little story that you just said. I'm down over 80% though, only so far. So my thing with gambling addiction is that everyone's solution is self-exclusion, banning yourself, removing your credit cards, controlling your money. And from my point of view, I view those as all temporary band-aids that will eventually fall off. Just like any other band-aid that you put on your body, right? Eventually that band-aid is not permanent. It will fall off in due time. What you need to do is fix the underlying issue. And the way you do that is by improving your mental health. And I know that mental health gets this like weird cringy stigma attached to it. It's like, oh, mental health, like what is that? But what I did is I really improved the way that I think about gambling, how it affects my life, the type of person I am. It's all mental, right? Because if you don't fix the issue up here, all the money in the world or all the limits you impose on yourself or the restrictions or moving money to separate bank accounts, it's not going to matter because you're always going to find a way to revert back to what you're addicted to, and that is to gamble, to splurge, to chase that dopamine rush. So you have to fix your mental health first, the way you identify with money. And that's what I did. And again, it's not going to work for everybody, but this is what I truly believe is the way to overcome an addiction. It's not imposing these physical limits. You have to fix yourself deep down. And so I read this great book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. And he really talked about how the types of cues in your environment triggers a desire, which becomes sort of like the action that you want to take. And he talked about how if you're struggling with losing weight, having a bunch of cookies on a plate in your kitchen is the worst thing that you're going to do, because you're going to walk into your kitchen, you're going to see the cookies, and that's a cue to trigger your hunger, to trigger your desire to want to eat those cookies, which negatively affects your weight loss. And the same is for gambling. You need to find out what triggers your gambling addiction. And for me, it was poker. It was basketball. It was seeing the roulette table, that white ball spinning and spinning and spinning. The board where you can place your bet. Like, there's all these cues that triggers your addiction. And so you have to become really self-aware and figure out like what triggers the addiction, right? What are the triggers in your life? And for me, it was like playing poker is what I love to do. However, to get to the poker room, you have to walk through the casino. And when you walk through the casino, you walk past the roulette table. You walk past the craps table. Those were the triggers in my environment which caused my desire to gamble outside what was reasonable, right? Like, I could play poker for $200 and be okay, but I couldn't do that at the roulette table. I'd always want to go crazy. Or I couldn't do that with basketball. Like, if I looked at the slate of basketball games and there's say there's 10 games, I couldn't just bet $10 on one game. I'd have to bet like $100 on every single game, because those were like the cues in my environment that triggered the gambling addiction, right? So what you need to do is fix your mental health. Like, just fix this identity you have with gambling. Like, I realized that I don't want to be a gambler anymore. I don't want to be that person that places bets. I want to approach gambling the same way that I drink alcohol. If it's someone's birthday, I can have a drink, and then I can go 6 months, 8 months, a year without ever craving a drink again. That's what I wanted with gambling. I wanted to be able to place a $5 bet on the Super Bowl and then just stop and not have it to escalate further. And then that's what I did. I fixed this, like, my mental health, this identity that I had as a person, that I no longer saw myself as someone who gambles. It just is something that I just didn't do. And I fixed the cues in my environment. I figured out what triggered my desire to gamble. And I faced those. I confronted them. And it's not an easy thing to do. Like, it takes a long time. Like, it takes like such a long time. And my cues are going to be different than yours, different than Ken's, or different than anyone else that's struggling with some form of addiction, right? It could just be your friend circle. What if you have your close group of friends love to go to the horse racing track on the weekend, and they invite you out every weekend? Like, what do you think is going to happen, right? It's going to trigger your desires to be a compulsive gambler, right? That's exactly what it is. But if you don't figure out what those cues are in your life and try to overcome them or improve them or remove them, all these physical band-aids and limitations you set on the exterior world, they're not going to help you. They may help temporarily in the short term, but long term they won't. I'm always glad to support this cause. As a non-active gambler, I know we all need the support. I spend most of my time focusing on 3 channels: yours, Tristan's, and Blackout Gambler. Hey, that's awesome, Ken. I'm glad that the channel resonates with you. That's super cool. I like Tristan's live streams too. See, the live stream thing, I love live streaming. I love watching people who stream. Something about, like look at this. This is authentic, right? This is me in the moment. This is not a recorded video where I can edit out the mistakes or cut out all of my breaths and white noise, or the times where I lose my train of thought. Like, this is real. This is authentic. It's 11:54 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and that's what it is. This isn't some video I recorded last week, right? Something about that is super relatable, and I love it. I love the authenticity of streaming. Let's see. The cue is basically just not having sex. I'm losing so much money now that it seems like it's better to just try to find hot girls to have sex with, but it's another addiction. And if I don't get that, I don't know what else to do that can seem to give the same high as gambling with stocks. It seems like Google blocked the first comment, but basically I developed an addiction to sex. Oh, yeah. In the chat for streams, there's a lot of words and phrases that YouTube auto blocks. I think I can disable the... I think I reduce the language filter to as low as I can. I'm not sure. Like, you know how YouTube is, they there's a lot of words that are very sensitive and they censor. So yeah, it's just something that happens on streams. Let's see. It seems like Google blocked the first comment, but basically I developed an addiction to sex. Wow, so you went from one vice to another. Great undiscovered channel, by the way. You have a good handle on gambling compared to ratio of views. Yeah, it's like I was talking to Kevin about this earlier. It's tough. Like, being a YouTuber is tough because do I want to grow the channel? Do I want more subscribers? Do I want more views? Is that my goal? Or do I want to share my authentic truth? And so part of me would be like, if you ask any YouTuber, they would be lying to you if they said they don't care about subscribers or at all, or they don't care about views. Every YouTuber creates a YouTube channel. They all want to grow. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants views. Everyone wants all that type of stuff. Like, maybe there's some like super spiritual monk dude that's reached enlightenment that makes videos who doesn't care. But like 99% of creators, we want to be seen. We want to grow. And so I struggle with this because how much should I sell out? Right? Like, should I try to make these videos that are super edited, where I talk like high pace and I'm like super extroverted, like that? Should I do that just for the sake of views? Should I start making more controversial videos because they did? Like, whenever I made a controversial video where I criticized someone, for example, Sneeko, I made a video where I criticized Sneeko, and it got so much engagement, it had so many views, there were so many comments, and it was getting like a good amount of AdSense. However, I realized I just did it for the sake of viewership, because the timing of the video was one day after Sneeko said something negative about Hamza. And I defended Hamza's position against Sneeko, and I sort of attacked him, right? And I was very critical of Sneeko's opinion. However, I regret making that video because it was made for the wrong reasons. It wasn't beneficial to anyone. It was just drama. And people eat it up. Like, the amount of comments I got was insane. It was like wild. And I removed that video because that's not authentic to who I am. And it was a tough decision, right? Because it was gaining so much traction and viewership. It was making like a lot of AdSense money. But I'm like, this is not who I want to be known for. This is kind of like Kevin's problem. I don't want to be known for this guy that just makes reaction videos, that criticizes other people, that's all this negative energy. I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. It doesn't benefit me in any way. And so because I make these decisions to talk about content that is not going to do well per se algorithmically, I have to be okay with slower growth of my channel. And I think I'm okay with that. You know, I get a lot of people that tell me, oh, your channel is underrated. You do all this stuff, you only have this many views. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Because I think at the end of the day, and I tell this to myself all the time, when I deserve it, it will come. When I deserve it, when I deserve the subscribers, when I deserve the views, when I deserve more AdSense money, it will come. It will come. And I have faith in that sentiment, right? I have faith in that message. And all I can do is try to keep sharing this like positive message I have, this positive outlook on life, trying to help people, trying to share this perspective, share things that I've learned, and make content that's true to me. I'd be lying to tell you if it doesn't bother me. Like every day I look at my phone and see like, oh, I gained like how many new subscribers. Like one day I think I gained like 19. I was super happy. I'm like, oh, this is so cool, right? It's so hard. It's so hard to resist that urge, that like temptation to like, oh, to sell out, to make these like super edited controversial videos. I don't know. It's a subject that I don't have a good answer for. It's one that I'm conflicted. It conflicts me every single day. Every day I'm conflicted about sharing content that will grow, sharing content that will do well, or sharing content that is true to me. So it's what it is. We need to untether from our gambling self, kind of like a system recovery. Yeah, it's interesting when you overcome. Well, I don't think you can fully overcome your gambling addiction. I just think you can live with it, and it sort of becomes a backseat driver to your life where it doesn't get control of the wheel anymore. That's how I view it. I still view like gambling Derek is still in here, but he just doesn't have his hands on the wheel. He sits in the backseat, and I control where my life goes. And so I just live with that demon. And so it's interesting though, because you transform as a human being when you escape any type of terrible addiction from your life, any vice you give up or anything that's like ruining you. It's a very liberating feeling. Live feedback is key. That's why live streams are good for both creator and subscriber alike. Stay true to you, brother. Never pander to the masses. Yeah, like here's the thing, right? You see all these Airac, Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, like all these like big time YouTubers, right? They have this formula for success where you have this like super flashy clickbait title, thumbnail, and then the first 20 seconds of the video is like high pace, is high action, high energy, it's edited, all these like cutscenes every 1 second. It's like all this like low attention span retention. That's what it's being optimized for. It's being optimized for people who have low attention spans. And that's like the vast majority of people on social media. But also, I think like, is that my tribe of people? Like the content that we talk about here. I feel like the low attention span ADHD TikTok scrolling viewer, that's not who you guys are. I don't think this is like the type of content that this tribe of people that we're growing is into, if that makes any sense. It's interesting. It's like, it's something that I'm going to have to think about and battle my entire life as a content creator. And I'm sure it's only going to get worse. Like as the channel grows, I get sponsorship emails every once in a while too. And I've never accepted any one of them. I get these emails like, hey, we have this product. If you make like a 30-second video on it, we can give you this for free and pay you this. Like, no, thank you. A big reason for that is because a lot of these products I've been offered are weird and they make no sense. Like I had like women's shampoo or like mascara or makeup or jewelry. I'm like, how does that apply to my viewership? Like my audience is like 90% male from 18 to 35. Like we're going to talk about mascara? Like, no. Like, why would I do that? I don't care how much money that brand deal. Why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense. Now, of course, there will be a time where I would like to do a brand deal, right? And there's a couple companies that I really like Audible, for example. I think audiobooks are amazing. The amount of information I've learned from audiobooks is unbelievable. Like Audible is a great service. And even like Squarespace too. I use Squarespace for my website. So like things like that I would love to use. But again, there's going to be a point in time in the future like, is this selling out? Are you guys going to be upset that I have like some type of ad in a video? You know what I mean? Like this stuff is never ending. It only just gets worse and worse. I've never had a gambling addiction, so I can't relate much. However, I've suffered from an addiction to VR chat, which in itself made me addicted to weed, nicotine, and alcohol. Oh yeah, we talked about that, right? That virtual reality stuff. Yeah, it's interesting because all these addictions, they're very similar, right? It's tough, like alcohol, video games, porn, gambling, like all of these addictions. If you're not careful, they can ruin your life. They can ruin your health, they can ruin your finances, and they can ruin your relationships with the people you love. That's why all this stuff, it's incredibly important to talk about. Because maybe there's some things that I've gone through as someone who loves gambling that maybe you could take and extrapolate and apply to your life who's addicted to porn, for example, or video games, or binging Netflix, or whatever it is, name the vice, cigarettes. There's things you can learn from other people who struggled, and you can try to apply them to your life, and maybe you can find a way to overcome that addiction that you're dealing with. This is why I love talking about this stuff, right? Because you never know who you can help, right? You never know who's out there struggling. That maybe a couple words of wisdom from your past personal experience can make a positive impact on their life, and I think that's amazing. Like that stuff is awesome. Do you regret giving up gambling though? Tons of poker players that kept playing until 2013 got into Bitcoin very early and became multimillionaires or deca-millionaires. Because the poker players just happened to have money stuck on platforms and all started to naturally adopt Bitcoin very early. So that's interesting. So there's two things there. So one, when I gave up gambling, when I gave up poker, I withdrew all my money. And this was when it became illegal in the United States. So I took all my net worth, per se. It was across all these gambling websites. I had it shipped to me with it was a physical paper check in a FedEx envelope, which is kind of hilarious because that's a company I work for now. And this FedEx envelope came to me, and it was like my net worth in this one little package. What it did do was it allowed me to buy a very small, I don't know what it was, like a townhouse, like a condo townhouse with my wife, which got us into the real estate market. And what it also did was I put a little bit of money into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple when it was like super cheap. I think I put like, I can't remember how much I put, a couple $100, $500, and whatever, it like 5x, 8x, 10x. It like blew up, right? And I cashed out a couple $1,000s, and I used that money to buy, where is it? This. So I sold my Bitcoin and crypto, and I bought this. This was my first Sony camera, which got me into buying another camera and another camera over there. So by proxy of quitting gambling, getting into real estate, and then also having some money to invest into crypto, I didn't become a millionaire. I didn't even make like $10,000, but I did make a couple grand, where it got me into cameras. It got me into videography, which eventually got this channel up and running, right? So in one sense, I don't regret it at all, because quitting poker, quitting gambling got me to where I am right now. And this type of work that I'm doing is so much more fulfilling than money. Like, of course, money is good, right? But like, now I have my passion. I know what my purpose is in life. Like, I'm happy every day. It's an amazing feeling to have. I don't know how to explain it. When you wake up every day and you know exactly what you want to do, exactly where you want to go, exactly what you want to spend your time on. It's awesome. And if I never quit gambling and poker, I never would have bought that first camera. Like, who knows what I would have done, right? So, Would I have loved to invest more and become a millionaire? Of course. Of course. But also, money amplifies, right? Maybe one day when I do, hopefully, become a successful entrepreneur, make more money or be more financially stable, it's only going to amplify where I am. And now I have my purpose. Now I have my family. Now I have happiness. Now I have fulfillment. So it's only going to amplify that. So I fix my life first, before making the money. And hopefully that will work out well for me in the future. Right? I'm just hopeful. Yo, the chat is off the chain today. I can't keep up. Sorry, guys. Do a brand deal with Raid Shadow Legends? Raid Shadow Legends. Yo, that's probably the most that is the most cringe brand deal you could ever do. Raid Shadow Legends. Oh my god, this is so funny. Yo, I used to see those brand deals that YouTubers would do with Raid Shadow Legends. I would laugh so hard. I'm like, is this a joke? This is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Oh, it's so funny. Shit. Oh, man. That was a good one, Red. Oh, you kill me, bro. Oh, yeah, that was freaking funny. Raid Shadow Legends. From 18 to 35, LOL, at least 1 over 50. Oh, I hear you, Ken. Don't worry, Ken. Oh, man. I'm dying. What about VR chat makes you addicted to it? Mainly a sense of being part of a community. Yeah, see, that's big too, right? Like building your tribe of people. That's huge. I've never tried VR chat, though. I have no idea. I know we talked about it, Brian, but I have no idea what it's about, really. I've tried like those VR things you attach to your phone, but that's pretty much it, though. Most of the people on these hubs are addicted to porn, drugs, alcohol, and other video games. Essentially, it's a prime place for gamers who are into degeneracy, but also lonely in real life. Yeah, that's rough. It's like you're leveling up in the virtual world instead of the real world. That's what's crazy about video games for me. Like you play like Final Fantasy or Grand Theft Auto or whatever, any of these games, and you're leveling up this virtual version of yourself. You're gaining experience, you're increasing your level, your gear, your money, like all these things. You're improving your virtual character's life, but then you're ruining your life in the real world because of all the time you spend in the virtual world. It's like a huge trap, especially for men. Like I feel like video games is such a massive trap because they're only going to get more and more addictive. They're only going to get better, right? Like video games, like the graphics, it's not going to get worse. It's only going to get better. Cash App for investing or Webull? No idea. I don't know what either of those are. Cash App? No idea, bro. To all the recovering gambling addicts, there's good Philip Seymour Hoffman movie called Owning Mahoney. It's really... Oh, I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. I was so sad when that guy died. Died. Oh my God, why can't I talk? What do you call it? I mean... Oh... Did I even say that right? Mahoney? Mahoney? Owning Mahoney? I just put that in my Google browser for later. The only thing VRC provided was losing my timidness and revealed to me the truth of being an extrovert and the strength I always had with social skills. See, it's interesting because of most people that gravitate towards those VR chats, I feel like they're more introverted, right? My only addictions were gaming, cigarettes, then later in life, gambling. Oh, okay. So it was gaming first, then smokes, and then the slots. Was only ever a drink on occasion person and never tried drugs other than marijuana, which I don't really classify as a drug. Yeah, I agree with that. It's wild. Like mushrooms and weed, they're so different than like crack, cocaine, heroin, meth. Like and I can't believe like that's like a controversial thing to say. It's like such a wild world we live in. At Ken Smith, that was a centerpiece for me because at that time I lacked social interaction from a fallout and quarantine. Yeah, quarantine was rough, man. What's interesting though about like the lockdown, stay at home type of stuff, I sort of thrived in that environment because I think naturally I think I'm ambiverted, but I lean a little bit more towards introversion where I really enjoy time to myself and working on things. It's strange because a lot of people say I'm extroverted because I have no problem talking to strangers. Like at work, I'm always like talking to people. I'm always outgoing. I like social stuff. I like going out and doing things, but I don't think I'm totally extroverted though. I think I lean more towards introversion personally. But it's strange though, because I think that's why I classify myself as an ambivert. I'm somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I understand the feeling. I was able to stop gambling on stocks for a few weeks and just focus on gym, health, and girls. Was way better than refreshing my brokerage account all day. Yeah, how old are you? Is it Diego? I'd assume it's Diego, right? I believe it's even cringy to gaming YouTubers. Man, money is money. Derek, this VR stuff goes deep, specifically VRC. Yeah, bro, I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it. In all honesty, I try to just I'm out of the loop completely when it comes to video games and VR stuff. I'm like completely out of the loop. Like I used to be that guy that would line up at Best Buy at 2 a.m. for the new NBA 2K or new Call of Duty game. Like I used to be that guy. Like I'd be that guy that brings the lawn chair at night, buys like a bucket of KFC and Coca-Cola and fries and chills with the boys, lines up outside at midnight to buy a video game on release. Like I used to be so into that world, and now I'm just completely void of it. Try to think of it as the same as eating a chocolate. You want to avoid sugar as much as possible. You get a small temporary high and immediately you have to run for an hour to make up for it. I was addicted specifically to RuneScape, then sex. Now it's gambling and sex. I am 29. Okay. So 29. So you are, let's see. What is that? 1994? 94? It's tough, man, because there's a lot going on with your situation, especially like these are all common things for men, right? Video games, girls, money, like very, very common for young men to struggle with. One good thing is though that I'm glad to hear that if you said that you were 19, for example, it'd probably be a lot harder because you probably lack perspective on life. Because that's what I find with a lot of younger guys is, they don't have that life experience. So they really need like direction of where to go. However, someone that's 29, you've experienced a lot through life. You've gone through pretty much your entire 20s. So there's a lot of things you know about the world and how the world works and how it's very unforgiving. Now, the only thing that advice that I could give you when it comes to going from video games to girls to gambling and jumping from one addiction to another, is one thing that really, really worked for me outside of working on my mental health. The one strategy that absolutely is so beneficial was using up all of my time on positive hobbies and activities and just keeping busy. And I feel like this is so important for men, because I believe men are goal oriented. Like, we like to have a task to do it, something to work towards. Or at least for me, in my own personal experience, when I have a clear goal or mission for the day, like today, I got to go to IKEA, buy this thing, or today I got to go here, buy this product or groceries, or I got to fix this thing in the house, like whatever. But one of the things that really helped me stay away from all these addictive things is using and scheduling every hour of every single day on something positive. So today, for example, right? Today's a perfect example. Wake up, first thing in the morning, I have my intermittent fasting routine. So I have like my water, I have black coffee, I have like a light workout at home. Like right away, I have something planned first thing in the morning, right? So that's done, 8 o'clock, do all that stuff. Spend some time with the kids, right? Uses up some time, get ready for the stream, do the stream. So right now I've used all my time in the morning and afternoon for something super productive. So after the stream, it's going to be spend more time with the family, maybe have lunch, go to the park. And then when I get home, this is when you have to be very careful, is when you have free time. When you have free time in your day, you need to use that up, like consume it with something, or else your mind is going to wander. And that is when it's going to wander towards your old habits, towards your addictions, towards video games, towards girls, towards TikTok, Netflix, Pornhub, poker, sports betting, the stock market. Like, that's when your mind wanders. So what I do is, as soon as I have free time, I put something in there. Another workout, or I'm going to have an editing session, or I'm going to call my dad, spend some time with my wife. Something, like do something. The worst thing when you're struggling with an addiction is having free time. You need to remove as much free time in your life as you have to get rid of that, because that's when you'll stumble. That's when you'll make mistakes. And so what's awesome about this is when you stay super, super busy, like I am, like I have like 16, 18-hour days. It's like go, 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 go. And then when it's like 1 a.m. at night, I just crash. I go to put my head on my pillow and I'm out in like 30 seconds because I'm just exhausted, right? And what's great about that, because there's no lapses in my judgment, there's none of this free time where I can drift off into space and think about something terrible or fall back to my old ways of, placing bets on the Laker game, for example. Because all those moments are used up, it helped me so much with staying away from gambling, staying away from placing a bet, because I'm so preoccupied with all these other things. And what's cool is if you keep doing that every single day, it becomes a discipline, right? So every day I'm like editing, every day I'm working out, every day I'm fasting, every day I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm all over the place. I have all these things. There's no time for me to look at the stock market, to go check coin market cap or whatever that website is. Like, I don't have any opportunity to do that. There's no time in my day to look at what the betting lines are for the football game. Like, there's nothing. There's not a moment I have in the day to do that. Right? It's because I've structured my life up in a way where it's extremely, extremely busy. I'm just always on the go. I'm always doing something. And, that type of lifestyle might not be for everybody, right? Some people love their free time, their leisure time, and they can chill. But in my opinion, you don't deserve leisure time. You don't deserve time to chill if you have some crazy gambling addiction, like if you have some negative bad habit, that if you have free time and you're going to do that bad habit, then you don't deserve that leisure time in your life. You don't deserve it. And that's the truth. If you're a responsible human being, a responsible adult that takes care of their business like a real man does, right, and doesn't have all these crazy addictions, then you deserve that free time to play Fortnite with the boys or whatever, watch a movie. I think you deserve it. But if you're like me, someone that was struggling and down bad, you don't deserve that moment to chill. So that's when I think, taking accountability, fill up your day with positive things. It's super beneficial, right? And then maybe when you do have a moment to reflect, try to work on, what are the cues in my life that trigger the bad habits? What is there in my environment that takes me down that dark path? And then you can fix your life, right? And here's the thing. No one is gonna save you. No one is gonna save you. You have to take accountability, because your mom or your dad's not gonna come over and force you to manage your money. No one's gonna force you to wake you up early and take you to the gym. No one's gonna force you to go to your day job and get in the car and commute there. You have to take personal accountability. And whatever way you can, find that. And for me, it was like being hard on myself. And that's how I fixed my life. It worked for me. And the only thing that I can share is the choices that I made that got me to where I am right now. And again, extreme accountability. Hold yourself accountable, because no one's coming to save you. So hopefully that helped. RuneScape has not been a problem with me for already 10 years. Okay, that's good. So you've... wait, RuneScape, that's a really old game, isn't it? Only when I was a teenager. Haven't logged into RuneScape or played video games for like 10 years. That's awesome, bro. Good job. Yeah, the video game thing is tough. It's tough. It's hard because like some of my most like fun memories was like these late night 3 a.m. sessions of Modern Warfare with the boys. When you make like I think it was like a team of 4 or 5 and you just do like team deathmatch, and everyone is on like I don't know what it was, like a Bluetooth headset, and you're all just like talking. Man, those days are so much fun. Like you just stay up late and you're eating like terrible food. I remember I'd buy like pizza or McDonald's and have like candy and chips and Coca-Cola. Like it was awful. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say like those memories were so much fun. But again, it's like there comes a point where you have to mature and grow up. And you have to, if the rest of your life is suffering, you got to get rid of those late night Modern Warfare sessions. But they were fun. So I completely understand the allure of video games. I get it. Like I totally get it. For me, the whole YouTube thing is to support others in my free time, more or less giving back after years of being selfish and self-centered due to blinded by gambling. Yeah, YouTube is cool because we all have two choices, right? You can either consume or you can create, right? And I was someone who consumed my whole life. I was just a consumer. All I do is consume. And so now it's like, I like to create because like you said, it's selfless. You are giving back to people, right? Maybe trying to help someone that is struggling, like Diego, for example. When I was 29, I was 1 year removed from a gambling addiction. I pretty much quit everything at 27, but I didn't really quit until I was 28. So 28, 29, that's when things started to snowball in the right direction for me, right? So again, creating is awesome because again, giving back to people, it's such a cool thing to do. Planning out your day is low-key a life hack in a lot of ways. On my best days, I follow my Google Calendar to a T and I sleep easy. Yeah, see the sleep thing. It's like, the way I think about it, I used to be a person that would like lie down in bed. I'd like twist and turn and be all over the place. My mind would be racing. It would take me like hours to fall asleep. But it was because I didn't do anything during the day. Never did anything. I never exhausted myself. So of course, like when I go to bed, I'm not tired. It's because I haven't done anything. And so I know this sounds really basic and like duh, but like my epiphany or light bulb moment was like, if I work out hard, if I just like get after it every day, if I like do a bunch of things and just like use up all my energy for the day, I'm going to sleep better. It seems pretty simplistic, right? But like if half of your day is just chilling on the couch doing nothing, not burning any energy, just being lazy, it's like, of course you're going to have bad sleep, right? You're just like consuming, sugary drinks and caffeine all day long. Of course you're going to have bad sleep. So S3K, what's up, bro? I feel like a lot of why I sink back into gambling is because I'm afraid of my potential and what I'm actually able to do. Have you ever felt that way? That's an interesting question. I feel like a lot of why I sink back into gambling is because I'm afraid of my potential and what I'm actually able to do. Have you ever felt that way? I'm going to say no. I don't think I've ever felt that way where I was afraid of my potential. That's such an interesting perspective. Because your potential is a good thing, right? But your potential is positive. Like if you have potential to do great things in your life, you have potential to grow, you have potential to be a better human being. But you sink back into gambling because you're afraid of that. Or is it because you're afraid that you may not reach your potential? That's interesting. Because I know I've heard people say that they're afraid of trying to achieve their potential because they're scared of failing. I know that's pretty common. I've heard that a lot. But being specifically afraid of your potential, I've never felt that way. That's an interesting question. I don't have a good answer for you, to be perfectly honest. I don't want to give you a nonsense answer. I think what's also very important as a YouTuber is if someone asks you something and you don't know the answer, I think it's okay to say, I don't know. Right? In our society, everyone feels like they have to know everything. They have to have an answer for everything. They have to have an opinion on everything. And everyone is afraid to just admit when they don't know. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer for your question. I wish I did. But I feel like I would do you a disservice if I just said some bullshit. So it's tough. It's a tough thing to admit. Because it's like an ego thing, right? We all have egos. We all feel like we have our perspective matters, our opinion matters. We have great insight into a certain subject or question. But I think it's important to, say you don't know when you don't know. I wish I could have a better answer for you, bro. Embrace your potential. There you go. Maybe Ken Smith has the answer. I believe any past gamer will not deny their best memories are those like the ones you shared. Yeah, man, those memories, those are the good days, right? Those were the good days. But also those memories, those are like part of, being a teenager or growing up. Just like how becoming a man, you build better, more mature memories. So it's definitely progress. Medal of Honor was the OG online multiplayer game. Oh, Medal of Honor, that was like Call of Duty, right? But like old school? How does taxes work for stocks and crypto? Do you know? Okay, so America and Canada is definitely different. If you buy stocks and you make a profit, I'm pretty sure you have to claim it as income and pay income tax. In Canada, we have these things called tax-free savings accounts. So you can buy stocks and you can invest through what's called like a tax-free account. So anything I make is non-taxable. And so you don't have to claim that. But US, I'm pretty sure in America, you got to pay income tax on everything, right? I think. I'm pretty sure. What is it? The IRS? The IRS always wants their cut, bro. Better safe than sorry when it comes to taxes. Quick tip. Tape your mouth with medical tape when you sleep. I found that I don't wake up in the middle of the night and I wake up actually feeling refreshed. Yeah, that's I've seen a lot of YouTubers, self-improvement YouTubers, talk about like taping their mouth and breathing through your nose is super important. That guy Ali Abdal had a great video on that. Counting last relapse, I'm only weeks since gambling, never afraid to be honest. Day by day and week by week, I will get there. Yeah, one day at a time, bro. 1 week at a time. It's a slow, arduous journey. I want to make videos about family dynamics to help give tips on how to manage difficult parents and be supportive. Is this a good idea? I want to make videos about family dynamics and help give tips on how to manage difficult parents and be supportive. I definitely could see that as beneficial because I'm sure there's tons of people with strange family dynamics where they have a bad relationship with their father or mother or brother or sister. Like there's tons of people out there that could benefit from content like that, right? I'm super lucky. I'm so fortunate to have good parents. I have a mom I love, a dad I love that are very supportive of me, that gave me lots of opportunities in the world, right? And I'm so lucky because I grew up we weren't rich, right? We didn't have money, but we weren't totally poor. Like we're okay. But it's like growing up without wealth, but with good parents is a great thing. And I'm super grateful for that. And there's a lot of people in the world who aren't as fortunate, right? Maybe they have a dad that left them or something. That unfortunately, that's a huge problem, especially for young men. Like imagine being a man and you don't have like a great father figure. That's tough, right? That's tough. So definitely videos about family dynamics for sure I could see as beneficial. I'm sure I posted my relapse somewhere through comments. Might actually be over a month at this point. I try not to keep track, brother. Yeah, it'll happen, man. It'll happen. It also depends like how big of a relapse, right? If you consider any type of gambling like a relapse, and I relapsed during the Super Bowl, I bet $5 on what the Rihanna song was going to be at halftime. However, it didn't escalate. I bet my 5 and I was done because that's how I identify with gambling. I can bet $5 or $10 and then I can stop. Whereas before I'd have to bet on the score, bet on the first field goal, bet on the first touchdown, bet on the spread, bet on the halftime score, right? Like all these other type of things. For me, that's like a true relapse when it goes out of control. Yeah, I agree. It could be the fear of not living up to the potential, but it also could be achieving that potential and not staying consistent with it. I've done this before in sales where I exceeded expectations and did so well, but then was always expected to be the best at everything I did. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So you achieve this status or this high level of potential, and then you are expected to maintain that. That's interesting. Well, sales is, I'd imagine that's super tough in sales, right? Because you're always judged based on how many clients you bring in month to month, right? I could see like the pressure. There's probably a tremendous amount of pressure there to either maintain your progress or exceed expectations. It's tough because we have this idea that infinite growth is possible, especially like in corporations. Like all these companies, they demand year over year growth. We have to make more profit and more revenue than last quarter. Like it's like this infinite growth belief. It's wild. So I think that could definitely be it, because if you're scared of achieving your potential and then you're afraid of not maintaining it, I could see that. But forget that, man. Like, achieve your potential. That's like the challenge. Embrace the challenge. Like, get there, but don't like think about maintaining it. Like, get there and then strive to be better. Right? I always strive to be better. Like, when I achieve something in my life, like say I have like a mountain, when I reach that peak, I set a new goal. I set a new challenge, right? If I reach my potential, I want to achieve something bigger, something better, because there is no end, right? If I achieve my potential as a streamer and get a certain number of views or live streams, okay, whatever, then I'm going to set the next goal and like embrace a challenge. I don't even think about like not meeting expectation or failing. Like I don't see this is the thing, like those negative thoughts, that negative talk you have in your mind, it's such a waste of your time. Because imagine if your brain capacity is 100 units of energy, for example. Say you only get 100 units of energy every single day. If you just spend a couple of those units on negative thoughts or ideas, or thinking about like how you failed or you didn't meet expectation, that takes away from the energy you could use towards thinking about improving or being better or working towards the next thing. And a lot of that is self-conscious too, right? Like I'm super grateful that like the negative stuff doesn't bother me as much. It did in the beginning. Like I used to care what people thought of me. I was afraid of negative comments. I was afraid of like, my parents thinking I was a loser or not, reaching my potential, like you said. But like if you spend time thinking about that, it takes away from the work you could do to improve. Like you can't waste your time thinking about that type of stuff. It's such a trap. Like I have no time in my day for that type of stuff. Like, am I going to think like, oh, I didn't reach my potential today, right? Like, oh, my live stream wasn't as good, or like, oh, maybe I wasn't as interesting, or maybe this is the best I'm going to be. No. How can I be better? How can I be better in Stream 52? What value can I provide? What quality can I improve? Can I improve the way I tell stories? Can I improve the way I answer questions? Can I improve my vocabulary? All my energy is spent on the next thing, improving, moving on. I don't get caught up in like the what ifs, the regrets of today, the things I didn't do yesterday. Like, don't care. Don't care. There's so like life is so short. Like if you think about how short of a lifespan we have, that's if you avoid a car crash, if you avoid cancer, if you avoid an earthquake or a plane crash or whatever. If you avoid all those things and you're fortunate enough, you might live to what? 85 in North America? What's the average life expectancy? 84? And that's if you avoid all those things. So it's like, I have no time to think about not reaching my potential or thinking about, low expectations. Just use all your energy to keep moving forward and get better. That's like the best thing you can do. Best thing you can do. Right? Because whenever I've, felt down on myself, or I was like regretting like decisions I made, or I was scared of what people thought of me, it doesn't help you in any way, right? It's all negative. So of course you want to reflect on mistakes you made, for sure. Like you want to look back at what you've done. Maybe there was like a mistake you did, but move on. Get on with life. Get moving, get going. On to the next thing. On to the next thing. Like that's just what I do. That's just what I do. Time to do a few chores, so gotta go, brother. Much love and respect. Hey, Ken, thanks for stopping by, bro. Hey, Ken and Brian had the good conversation going. Having to keep up with what I can do can be tiring, and I'd rather just sink into my addictions and hide. Come on, dude. You got to get out of that mindset, bro. Hide and sink away. Come on. Like, think about how lucky you are. Think about how lucky all of us are right now to be alive in this world where we have internet and food and shelter, like all these things, right? And we're worried about what other people think of us. We're worried about not reaching our potential. We're worried about looking cool in front of our friends. We're worried about catching up on the latest episode of whatever Netflix show. Like, come on. Like, look how lucky we are to be alive now. Imagine if we were alive in 1923 instead of 2023. Oh, shit of a life that would be. I'd probably be in some coal mine or something, hating my life. It's all about perspective, right? So I don't have time for any of this like thing and any negative stuff that derails my life. Because I'm 38. How many good years do I have left? Again, if I avoid all those tragedies, if a good 40 more years. So I have no time to waste on any of that stuff. And neither should you. Neither should you. Tip typo? Yeah, tip. Was on a call with one of my semi-girlfriends? Great advice about filling up free time. My goal is to try to get to $5 million again. The best way I know is by stock market, and I seem to just keep speculating without an edge. I already lost 7% last week betting on Snapchat, NIO, and Xpeng stock. Maybe I should just try to be happy with $2 million and try to live with that and not gamble anymore. Okay, so a couple things there. Human beings, someone could give you all the right answers and advice in the world, but the majority of human beings, you learn from your mistakes, right? You learn when you feel that pain, right? So in a sense, it might be good that you lost all that money because now you know what that pain is, right? Now, the next time you make 5 million or whatever you make in investing, you'll know to keep 3 million in the bank and never touch it, lock it up. It's like, that's life-changing money that could secure your future and your children's future for the rest of your life. That's an amazing opportunity that you have. However, you lack the perspective unless you feel the pain. And now you feel the pain. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be like an idiot and do the same mistakes you made before? Like, you have to hold yourself accountable. It sucks. It's harsh. There's a level of self-hatred that you have where you have to learn from the bad decisions you make in your past. And if you make the same mistakes over and over and over, you have to take accountability, and that's on you, right? That's on you. But now that you feel that pain, now the next time you make that big stock investment or crypto 10x that goes to the moon, right? Now you'll have perspective on what to do, right? So it's good that you're thinking about this stuff, right? It's good that you brought it to the stream and we can talk about this stuff because you can learn, right? You can learn from your mistakes, just like I learned from my mistakes, right? Thank you for the feedback, brother. I'm lucky with my own parents as well, but no one is perfect, and my perspective may be useful to others like myself who want to maintain strong bonds. Can't confirm sales is tough as hell, but if you know that's where your potential lies, go for it. Going to get to work now. It's been great chatting with everyone today. I hope to see you all again in the next stream. Hey, Brian, bro. Probably left already, but thanks for stopping by, dude. All you guys, man. Today was an awesome stream. Actually, probably got to end the stream soon. We're going to do some family stuff today, some lunch. Yeah, Diego. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. And S3K. It's I'm glad you guys showed up. Right? I hope that this stream benefited you in some way. Like, trust me when I say this, no one in this world is going to help you, right? There's no one coming to save you. This is why accountability is so important, right? This is why investing in yourself is so important. Self-improvement is so important. Like, if you're struggling with reaching your potential, if you're struggling with this gambling addiction you have or saving money, like, it's all on you. It's all on you. And if you're going to waste your time blaming yourself, woe is me, all this, then you're never going to win, and you're just going to keep losing. And maybe this is the hard truth you need to hear, right? Because sometimes your family members are too soft because they love you, right? They won't tell you the real truth, right? I don't know you. I don't know either of you guys, right? I have no idea who you are. But this is like, I feel like the real truth that you need to hear, right? Take accountability for what you've done. Fix it and fix it. And you guys are the only ones that can do that. I can try to give you some tips or advice that work for me, and that's about it. So hopefully it'll go well. And Diego, man, you get that 5 mil, bro. Bank that. That's so cool. That's awesome. I want to get there one day. So yeah, maybe we can have another stream tomorrow. We'll see. If I have time, I'll stream again tomorrow, guys. So that's it. Red, as always, thanks, brother, for being the new moderator. Always love talking to you. Diego, S3K, thanks for coming by. Brian, Ken, Kevin, if you're still here. So have a good weekend, guys. And Forrest too. Go Forrest, you were stealth. Have a great weekend, Forrest. Thanks for being here since day one, and have a great weekend, guys. Peace.